Hey guys, it's Danielle with Take Care Mama, and this is our 4-month update for baby Norma. I feel like this month was actually a really good month for Norma. We'll start with her weight. There has been some drama concerning her weight. I won't go through it all, but you can look back at past videos. But basically, her percentile kept diminishing. At her 2-month checkup, they wanted me to start supplementing with extra breast milk. I breastfeed her, so I was pumping a little extra and giving her like 4 ounces extra a day. And we went back last month and everything looked great. And they said to continue doing it for this month. And for the first 2 weeks, I was doing a good job at it. But we went to the cabin and I didn't feel like bringing my pump, and I just really tried to be more intentional of feeding her a lot naturally. And when we got home, she really wouldn't take the extra bottles, and I got sick of throwing away breast milk, because I'm sure if you're a breastfeeding mama, you can relate to how horrible that is. So I kind of just stopped the last 2 weeks. So I was a bit nervous going in to her weigh-in, but she kind of held. She is at the 20th percentile and 12.8 pounds or 12.9 pounds. And I'm not sure what her height is, but it's the 80th percentile. So she's kind of long and skinny, and everything looks good. So I don't really have to supplement anymore. Looking back, I can see some things that I might have done wrong to cause her weight to slow down. Number one is she was a very colicky baby. She would just scream and cry often. I've talked about that as well. And with James, he only really cried when he was hungry, and that's what I'm used to. So when she was a newborn and crying all the time, I would just constantly try to feed her. That was my number one go-to to calm her down, and that wasn't always the case. She wasn't always hungry. She was just crying for other reasons, and I think I kind of got used to that. And so as she was growing out of the colic and she started crying, I wouldn't necessarily go to "you're hungry" right away, because it's just not what had been her past. And sometimes by the time I offered her to eat, I think she was too upset to get a good feeding in. So I think there was some miscommunication going on. The second thing I've come to realize is she does not do well nursing in public. Now she's 4 months, so she's at the age where a lot of kids have trouble nursing in public because they're easily distracted. But looking back, even as a newborn, we didn't have a lot of great feedings out in public. They'd be really short. And we were out a lot during maternity leave, and so I think that probably contributed to it as well. So I'm just more mindful of it now and try to really feed her before we leave. For whatever reason, she does better feeding just at home. It seems a lot more effective. I am glad that hopefully the weight issues are behind us. She got her shots at her 4-month appointment, and they affected her a lot more than they did last time. She was pretty cranky for maybe 24 hours following, but no fever or anything. Colic, I kind of alluded to it before, but I think we are done with the colic, which is super, super nice. That was rough. Those couple 2-3 months were rough, but she is just genuinely a really happy baby now, and I think that's over. With that being said, she is teething a lot. I'm pretty sure I even talked about that in my 3-month update. It's gotten a lot worse. She is just drenched, just drooling constantly, and just fussy about it. Like, she'll just fuss until I will massage her lower gums, and then she calms down. She's constantly trying to put things in her mouth. So we have a couple teething toys and things like that. I think it's slowly getting a little better just because her hand-eye coordination is getting better. Whereas before, I could tell she was in pain, but she couldn't quite get her hand in her mouth, or she couldn't quite hold on to a teething ring and put it in her mouth. She's getting a lot better at that, so at least she's able to self-soothe a little bit. But I just feel so bad for her. There are no teeth yet. It does feel pretty hard, but no teeth yet. But it's just really obvious that it is bothering her. Sleep-wise, we are still in the snoo. Still love the snoo. Buy the snoo, you won't regret it. It is so good now. Let me pull up the app. I think her average now is she goes to bed at 7:30 and wakes up at 6:30. So I'm just getting a full night of sleep. We are on the weaning side of snoo now. If you're unfamiliar with this snoo, it's this amazing bassinet and it moves and shushes and swaddles her. And when you're on the weaning stage, it doesn't move when you put her in or him in. It will only start to move if they start crying, whereas before it would just move constantly through the night. So we're slowly trying to get her ready to transition into the crib, and it's going really well. We haven't even noticed a difference in sleep. The beginning of the month, we went to the cabin. We've gone twice. So the beginning of the month, she slept horribly in the pack and play. Like, I was up every 3 hours and I was dreading going again, but we went just a week ago again and she slept just as well as she does in the snoo. So I think I think the snoo did its job and she's a great sleeper, and I totally understand how fortunate I am and lucky, and I appreciate it so much. Fun stuff that she's doing. She's really good at rolling over now from her stomach to her back. Like, she'll do it every time. I think she's only gone from her back to her tummy maybe one time. And it was like on our bed, like a soft surface. So I don't even know if that really counts. So she's still working on that, but she loves to have back time on the mat, on the carpet, and tummy time. She is starting to grab things a lot more. And cooing has gone to a next level. I mean, she's been cooing for a while, but in the last 3 weeks, she is just so vocal, and you can tell she's trying out different sounds. And sometimes it sounds like an adult is saying a word or something. Phil will be like, "What did you just say to me?" And it's just Norma in the background working on her vocal cords, so that's pretty funny. And she just smiles a lot, makes good eye contact, and I wouldn't say she like belly laughs yet. The doctor had asked if she's laughing a lot. I wouldn't quite say that. She smiles and kind of giggles, but not that lovely belly laugh that I remember from James. So I'm hoping that's right around the corner, because I don't know, there's nothing like when your baby first smiles at you, and then there's nothing like when they first look at you and just do a huge belly laugh. I cannot wait for that. My battery's about to die. As far as I'm doing, I'm still doing really well. Definitely not as well as I had been before. Man, I was just in a newborn bliss for the first 3 months. Like, nothing could hurt me, I feel like. Nothing could bring my mood down. And I've definitely had some harder days in this 4th month. Going back to work has been much more of an adjustment than I thought. I'm only going like twice a week, and I thought it would just be effortlessly easy, and that has not been the case. It's been hard to juggle everything. It is summer break and James is home, and it's been hard to go through that transition, and it's just been not as amazing, but I still feel really good. The other thing I will say, I'm on antidepressants. I talk about that a lot, and I'm always really good about taking them, but for some reason this 1 week, I don't know, I think it was coming back from the cabin. I just wasn't as organized, and I missed several days 1 week, and I could tell a huge difference. Just a little more anxious, and I just couldn't like get my brain to stop. Like, it's amazing once you know what a calm brain can look like, and then you go back to your pre-medicated brain, I guess. Just all of these thoughts were firing into my brain, just subject to subject to subject, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I need to be better at taking my medicine. So I'm back on to being really diligent about it, and even though I am such a natural, crunchy, cloth diapering mama, I am glad that that option exists, because for me, it's the right choice. And it might not be for you if you're struggling, but I know that there's just a lot of stigma around being medicated, and I felt that, and I still feel it sometimes. I still feel a little bad or ashamed about it or less than, like I need medicine to function like a normal person, but it's just so silly that we feel that way. And I just wanted to randomly put that in here. I didn't plan that at all, but if you are struggling and you feel like you want to try medicine, or if you are on antidepressants and feel a little bad about it, I hear you. I've been there too. I'm felt that last week, but it is such a stigma that shouldn't be, because it is just an illness of our brain, and it is okay and it is good to seek help. So again, didn't plan on that. Weight wise, I'm a mess. I feel really uncomfortable in my body right now. I am not losing weight. And before I was like, why aren't I losing weight? I'm working out and eating well, and that was true. This past month, I've definitely indulged in more comfort food, I think because of my anxiety, and I definitely have not been working out as much as I usually do. So I'm really trying to get back on it. I'm trying to go for just like a half an hour walk before Phil leaves for work. I think it's good to get it out of the way, and it's not overwhelming. It's just a walk. I can listen to my podcast. So I've been doing that, and I'm trying out intermittent fasting. I feel like it's attainable for me. I don't want to do I'm a vegan or keto or anything like that. I did vegan a year ago and I liked it, and I still try to eat mainly plant-based foods, but I don't want like these huge restrictions because I don't think it's attainable for me. However, intermittent fasting I am trying out. I feel like it's not that difficult. So what I'm doing is the 16-8. This is like my first week, so maybe I'll hate it. But like last night I finished eating at 8 p.m. I had my last little snack or whatever. And so I fasted for 18 hours, most of which I was sleeping, or some of which. And then I had my first meal at noon today. And I think what I'd like to do instead is switch it to eating my last bite at 7 p.m. and then having my first meal at 11 a.m. the next morning. I feel like that will be a little bit better because I was pretty hungry. So we'll see how that works. I did research about breastfeeding and it doesn't seem to affect breastfeeding. So that will be good, but let me know if you have any experience with the IF. I would love to hear your thoughts and your opinions. And thank you for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and don't forget to take care, mama. Bye, guys.